Hello, hello, me again. You can tell it's the same day because same earrings, same top. After the last part, I needed a pee and I was getting thirsty. Some out, some in. And too much information? Never. I'm going to carry on straight away because there's some areas here that I just feel like I can't leave them while they're still this dark. And I just have a little bit extra I want to do there. And I am going to add some different shapes into the hill while it's still wet, because I love this scraping effect so much. So I'm just gonna crack on. And of course, I've got to have you there so you can see all the different stages, so you don't suddenly look at the next video and go, hang on, that's different. So here we go. Right, I've got all my usual colors back, and I started to perhaps overdo some of all of the extra dark on this side. So as always, conversation between light and dark, bring some of that brightness back in, and also some of the rich buttery yellows that I was really excited about at the beginning. I feel like it just started to get a bit too dark over on this side with my excitement over the pink, which is all right, which is okay. Just, oh, did I want to put that white on there? Well, it's on there now. It clearly wants to go on there. And I do want a tiny bit of green, but I'm going to mix it with some of this yellow and orange so I get a very different tone of that green. So it looks like it's not nearly so dark. It looks like it's further away. Just bringing a little bit of that original green back into the hill. And I like that green. And that can be a nice additional light layer over the top of some of these really dark shapes. So the light from up here is catching on these. That's much better. There we go. Sometimes you've just, if you've got an idea that, it's the painting is still talking to you, you've just got to keep going. That's what happened with the last two videos as well, that I thought that I'd stopped for the day, and then no, there's painting was going, hang on, you haven't finished with me yet. And you've just got to listen to those voices as a creative person, if you can, if you have the space and the time to do it. Otherwise, just make a note of the things that you need to come back to. Yeah, that has already made me feel better, just toning down some of this real dark form that was happening. I mean, I do want some darkness over on this side, but it was just getting feeling a bit extreme. So it's breaking that up a little bit. Maybe add a bit more sunshine just into the tops of those. Ooh, yuck. That's a horrible colour, isn't it? Now let's get rid of that. Nope, that didn't work. Always better to try though, to try it and then decide it's the wrong decision. I'll leave a little bit of it. So maybe the sun is just catching. The light's coming down here. There's a little bit of brightness just catching on these forms over here. That will very much change the contour of that bit of land. And I need to get rid of that horrible yellow green that I just put on as an experiment. There we go. Instant changes just by altering the tone and the light. And I don't mind these big blocks of smeared paint from the very first layering. That still feels successful. I'm just putting bit more of the dark green back in, but this time it will mix in with the colour that I've just put on. So we're getting different tones. We're not just getting the solid dark green. Some areas of that up here. I'm just pressing and lifting with the palette knife. Just catching on those little bits of wet paint and making very small shapes. So those, let's still call them tree forms because they're green and we associate that very much in our minds. They very definitely look far away. That's a really different colour to the trees that are down in the valley here. So I'm just going to add in the tiniest little bit of that dark just to unify the colour. Just bring a little bit of that extra shading down in without changing the tone. This is now all looking a little bit mouse print sponge painting. Break that up with some lines. But yeah, that makes so much more sense to me. And the marks, of course, are getting much smaller as we go up the painting because the landscape is getting further away. And there's quite a lot of detail up there now, with as in a lot of small marks with different colours of paint. And we get drawn then to the simplicity of that shape. So we get taken on this journey up through here, and then our eye can enjoy some of the little spaces up there. And then there's plenty to look at, which I find important in a painting, to enjoy the journey of where my eye wants to go. And you see different things all the time in a semi-abstract. And just because I'm looking at it right now, I'm just going to get a little bit of dark paint going across that, again, across the line where the edge of the board is, which is creating a division. And then I've got more choice over where to fold the painting. And let's break up that little line of light there. Yeah, and that has added in some lovely depth. So just bring a bit of that dark maroon back through here. Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's added some real weight of shadow down this corner. Right, now the other thing I really, really wanted to do is have a go at, oh yeah, bring my stool over, my handy paint palette holder. So I'm going to now, oh yeah, much happier with that side. This is almost getting to the point where I will be walking away and leaving this. Ooh, gosh, except this feels very unresolved, that I feel the need to split up some of those shapes more and not worry about the fact that the paint is still wet. So I'm actually going to start here. I'm putting on a relatively thick, as you can probably see that shape, relatively thick layer of white. Yeah, let's create a block of white. And now, how to do this? Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to do this from the other side because I need to hold the board and then you can actually see what I'm doing rather than looking down my armpit. I'm going to scrape into this now in the same way that I did with all of the other landscape forms So the white creates an outline, and actually doing it from this side, I'm not looking at it in the same way. So I'm not maybe compelled to create the same. Yeah, that is now creating some ridge. Yeah, creating ridge and uniformity, but all of the little marks that I've used on that side definitely, and the colours definitely make it look like quite a different landscape form. And again, doing this because using this technique and experimenting with this, because I really like it. I like the way that this technique, I like the way it exposes the colours underneath and that creates really different forms. Yeah, I've just got to be a little bit careful that I don't start making very even lines. So I'm going to put in a lot more white there, and let's break this up. Heaps of white. So I am thinking about the light and the shade, and an